Heyo, welcome in to CHGO Bets Daily, coming to you live from Studio B of our CHGO offices here in the West Loop of Chicago. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. Alongside me is my partner in degeneracy, Cody Delmendo. He's putting on a brave face being here today. After that Cubs loss, it's going to be a tense day for Cubs fans. You guys got a pregame?
No.
Okay, no pregame, but Cody's going to be tweeting from at CHGO_Cubs all day. He's going to be tweeting at Cody_CHGO. Go follow him. It's going to be a very intense day for the Cubs, so we're going to send good vibes to you and Talion.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
yes, sir.
Boy, the vibes are a little rocky. All right, we're going to get through this. We're going to talk about the NFL. You like the NFL. We're going to talk about college football. You like college football, and we like everyone hanging out with us. Shout out to Nick and Robbie for hanging with us. Hit the thumbs up button, and I guess shout out to Greg Braggs for producing us. You can follow me at Sean_W_Anderson. Let's get into the NFL. And why not? Let's get into my leans here. Let's get into the NFL ones because Bragg is just flashing the guy on the screen. It's our headline, and it's our hometown team. It's the NFL Bears, the Chicago Bears. You want to flash the NFL picks there, Greg Braggs? You worried? You scared? What's going on?
You got it. I mean, when you jump in, you just got right into it. I don't know.
See, I mean, you were right when not everyone's Steven. I'm leaning Bears plus 3.5. I bugged you in the alley about this yesterday. I did not understand the Broncos after giving up 70 points, coming to Chicago and being road favorites by a field goal and a half. I just don't understand this line. I understand the Bears haven't won a game in 13 straight games. And I also understand that Greg Braggs thinks that these NFL picks are college bets. So he's really killing it today.
Oh, Greg Braggs.
We're all going to die someday.
There you go. We're all going to die someday anyway.
Well, the way the Bears are playing, it is kind of like college, the Division II.
Yeah. The JV team. This is when they invite the Division II teams to play Georgia.
It opened at 2.5, and it moved to 3.5. I think it's going to stay there. I don't think it's going to go any further than that. I just feel like I don't hate it just because I do think it will be close. I will say that much. But the Broncos defense, I know the Dolphins they started the season off hot. But the Broncos defense should be way better than that. I mean, they have the best cornerback in football on their team. They have I don't get it. I don't get it. But if I were to bet it, I would probably lean the Bears since they're at home. But and the fact that there's no way they're gonna get blown out every game this year. There's just no way.
Well, there is a way.
There is a way,
There's
but
a way.
Like I just don't think they're that bad.
I don't think
I think they're bad, but I don't think they're bad enough to where they aren't in a game against a team that just gave up 70 points.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like this is an even matchup. The only thing that scares me, and Robbie's kind of pointed out in the chat, is Sean Payton's the coach for the Denver Broncos, and he's a great coach. And I know they're off to a bad start, but he has fixed Russell Wilson. They just got to figure out how to play defense. And maybe that's what scares me is like, what if they figure out the defense? Because the Bears offense just has been, I can't even put the words to describe it. Like you're betting on the Bears, you're betting on, their offense doing something. And to not be able to, coming off that game against Kansas City where they did nothing it's a bold bet to make for sure.
And I don't understand how you don't watch that Dolphins game where they put up 70 points and see how much success they had running it. I mean, the game plan last year when the Bears did have some success, a glimmer of success, is when Justin Fields was running the ball. We see bursts from Roschon Johnson and Khalil Herbert. Like, I think they have people to have a successful run game. And I don't know if you feel this way, Greg, but we were screaming it during the Packers game. Like, they just weren't setting the run up at any point, and that's felt like what they have done every single game. And it's felt like you're just having Justin in the shotgun every single snap, and it does not feel like they're actually devoted to setting up a run game. They're not setting up any motion. They're not having any creative offensive ideas to get guys open for a struggling quarterback. And I don't think he's that bad, but he's not getting any help. That's for damn sure. And Robbie's saying they're the worst team in the NFL in history and in years and whatever. It's like, what happens when two bad teams play each other? Like, this game could be honestly a Broncos blowout. This could be like 42-3. It could be a repeat of the Chiefs game. This could be a tight game where there's like 75 points scored. This could be a 6-3 game. This could be the Bears winning like 42-10 just because Russell Wilson does not care, hates Denver, got his money, and is just kind of, mailing it in at this point. And maybe Justin Fields just goes off on a defense that just gave up 70 fucking points. Like, there's no way to cap this game.
Yeah, to me, this is the biggest toss-up game of the week. And, like, it doesn't even, like, the Rams are, like, 1-point underdogs. Like, that's, like, the most even actual spread on the slate this week. So, I kind of just want to take the over, and that's it. But just because I don't, Braggs, you would know more, but
I know nothing.
Well, in terms of who's going to likely play, like I know Eddie Jackson didn't practice today. Jalen Johnson got hurt.
Yeah, he's got like a hammy now.
Right, and like so the Bears defense is just all kinds of in shambles right now, and so listen, the Chiefs almost hit the over themselves last week, and the Broncos did put up 20.
I guess.
Yeah, you've got Jalen Johnson with a hammy. Eddie didn't practice with a foot. Josh Blackwell, nickelback, didn't practice. Kyler Gordon's out. And they just signed a defensive back from the Vikings who plays press man coverage, and they play zone.
Great. And the Vikings are terrible defensively, especially in the secondary, so that's good. Yeah, I mean, you mentioned you're not sure where this number is going to end up. Pinnacle right now has the Bears at +3 at +110, so it does feel like +3.5 is a pretty safe number, unless there's money that comes in on the Broncos over the weekend. And it seems like Robbie's pretty confident that the Broncos will win. Maybe there's a sharp bettor that thinks the Broncos will win and could push this up to 4. I just on a neutral field, the Broncos are 5.5 points better than the Bears. Like, that's what basically this line is. I don't understand that. I don't believe that. It makes no sense. Like, you're really taking Sean Payton and Russell Wilson versus Matt Eberflus and Justin Fields. And honestly, that sentence just makes me want to throw up. So close your eyes and just take the weird line on the Bears getting 3.5 at home.
So to me, you think the line should just be like even, like 1 point. Is that what you're telling me?
If this was a pick, I wouldn't hate it. Like a pick 'em.
Yeah.
And and honestly, I mean, I think that every single rating system has the Broncos and Bears at 29 or whatever, 32 and 31 right now. I don't understand this massive field goal and a half point for the Bears.
Well, I will say this. I felt like on last Sunday against the Chiefs, it was hard to even really be mad at the Bears offense. Their defense just couldn't get off the field. Like the Chiefs just they owned the time of possession and just when the Bears never had the ball, it felt like, in that first half until the very end. But so, like, if the Bears can find a way to control time of possession, or at least be even with the Broncos with it, then yeah, I think that 3.5 is a safe bet. And if you think that's going to happen, then yeah, then I'd place it. I just don't know. I want to believe that they're going to get this offense together. It should be better. There makes absolutely no sense to why this team right now looks worse than last year's team with the talent that is on this Bears team. That's not me being a fan. That's not me just defending Justin Fields like I have been on social media. It's a legit fact. Like that roster last year was awful, and it is better this year, and it should be better than what we've seen, man. It just absolutely should. Not talking about defense. I'm talking about the offense. Just the offense in general. It should be better than what we've seen.
It should be, but their problem is just like on the defensive side of the ball on offense, they have the injuries too. I mean, obviously they're sorely underproducing, and Ravi will tell you all about that in the chat. But would you left tackle Braxton Jones out?
That's fair.
Tevin Jenkins, who's hurt every year, and you should expect it, out. Your right guard Nate Davis out with personal issues with losing his mother, and it's just when you have that, it just creates bigger problems.
Yeah. Again, I right now I'm probably just gonna play the total, but I haven't really came. I think it's big of you to want to go ahead and place this bet now.
But honestly, I mean, that's the thing is, if this was take the teams out of it and just say this is the 32nd team hosting the 31st team, and the 31st team are 3.5-point favorites. Like I just would not feel confident, no matter the team, just the situation of the two worst teams in football playing each other that haven't really proved anything this year.
Yeah.
What the fuck have the Broncos proved? They lost to the Raiders, who I think are like probably the 27th worst team, and the Commanders, who are the 28th worst team, and a top 10 team just put up 70 on them. Mm-hmm. So like if the Bears play like truly a little bit like below average, they can win this game. All they have to do is like have less penalties and have less turnovers. And I think they literally win this game. The team that makes the less mistakes win this game. That's why I think it could be a pick 'em, because it's truly 50-50. A fingertip could decide this, and that, is the inch that, gets an interception, and there's the field goal that leads to a 3-0 victory. I mean, these teams are horrible.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's get into my final leans for the NFL. Then we'll get to Cody's picks. Bucks +3. It's basically Baker Mayfield versus Jameis Winston. I will take Baker Mayfield. He's got like over 200 attempts consecutively without an interception in the red zone. I like that. Mike Evans seems to be wanting to prove something. You got Chris Godwin as well. And their defense seems competent. This is going to be a very ugly game. Not going to watch it, but I'll take the Bucks +3. And then that final one, Greg, was my bad. It was Rams money line. They're going up against the Colts. It seems like Anthony Richardson might start, or at least he's back at practice, even if it's Gardner. I think the Rams are pretty undervalued. I think this is a team that still, if they're getting a plus point or even their plus money on the money line, I'm going to lean that way. I'm not fully decided on that yet. And I'm not sure, but I think Cooper Kupp is coming back soon. Maybe not this week, or it might be the next week. But yeah. I do like the Rams, what I've seen from them so far.
I like the Rams. Of those last two picks you got, I like the Rams because I agree. I do think they're undervalued. I think they've played well. They played a great week 1, and then they played a competitive game against the 49ers. And then they only lost by 3 to the Bengals on the road in Cincinnati. And who are they playing again? They're the Rams.
Indianapolis.
And the Colts, I mean, I know they just beat the Ravens, but I don't know. I think that was just a fluky game. But yeah, no, as a pick 'em, I like the Rams there. But in the Buccaneers +3, I love betting divisional underdogs. It's one of my addictions. So I don't hate it. Whether it's Jameis Winston or Derek Carr, I think it's a very even matchup in general. But that's why it's 3 points. So. I think the line there is just it's the Saints are at home, so they're going to be 3-point favorites. That's it. To me, it's a pretty even game. So I think the Buccaneers can hang around.
We got no more ad breaks, so I mean, honestly, just jump into your picks.
Okay, my 3 early bets that I think that you should place right now, Ravi, and anyone else in the chat. Browns -2.5. All right, they go. I believe they host the Ravens this week. They host the Ravens. The Ravens, according to this injury report I'm looking at right now on covers.com, the Ravens have like 20 people on their injury report and injured reserve combined. All right? They are decimated right now. The Browns coming off a bloodbath of the Tennessee Titans. And I love the Browns defense so far. And honestly, their one loss, which was against the Steelers, I believe on a Monday night, if you go back and watch that game, they probably should have won that game. I don't blame the fact that Nick Chubb got hurt as the reason they lost. They had some bad turnovers. And I just think that outside of that game, they've played a clean brand of football. They beat up on the Bengals week 1, and like I said last week, they beat the Titans pretty easily. So
did you see that one play though from Deshaun Watson where
I did
he was
see
getting
that.
sacked and then he threw it 15 yards behind him?
That was bad.
That was not clean.
That was bad. And I hate the fact that I'm betting on Deshaun Watson, but money is money.
Yeah, and you didn't hire him. You don't want him in. Like
Yeah.
I would not want Deshaun Watson in the league. Ooh, there, I said it. Is it going to fucking happen? No.
Yeah. Right.
Like I can't control if this man is employed or not.
right.
All I want to do is look at the numbers and the power rankings when it comes to betting, and I'm just trying to see if we could find an edge.
Right.
I'm not trying to bet with the intentions of an abuser winning a football game, right? Or I got a comment, and it wasn't. I mean, I'm not like an actual I'm not taking it seriously, but I am. I just heard a comment from a friend and saying, I wouldn't be able to bet on Zach Davies because I bet on the Diamondbacks money line because of what he did to his wife. And it's like, okay, I get that. But also it's like, there's 26 or 25 other guys on the fucking team. I guess this isn't all about Zach Davies, right? Like, I don't know. I mean, the Deshaun Watson stuff's gross, and I don't think you're endorsing anything with Deshaun Watson by betting Browns minus 2.5.
The reason I'm taking the Browns is because the Browns defense is legit, man. They are top 5 in almost every defensive category in football, and they've started the season off hot. So give me Browns minus 2.5. You're giving me less than a field goal against this or not the Titans, against the Ravens, who are decimated right now. Hammer it. All right. Speaking of the Titans, who we were just talking about, Bengals minus 2 on the road. The spread opened at 4.5, is down to 2 points. All right. I can't trust Ryan Tannehill, man. I can't do it. And they just I love that. I love Vrabel. But I can't do it. And I also think this is must win for the Bengals. They're 1-2. They're supposed to be, I wouldn't say run away with the AFC North, but they're supposed to be an AFC championship game contender. That's their expectations. And I know Joe Burrow has been hurt to start the year, and he hasn't looked that great. On Monday night, he didn't look that great. They're also they're going to be playing on a short week, whatever. I think that this is a game where they continue to build off their last win. And it was an ugly win against the Rams, but I feel like it's going to be just like that with the Titans because you just can't trust the Titans defense. And the Titans they're in the bottom 5 of almost every passing category for defensive passing category. So I think this could be a good game for Joe Burrow potentially. I think the Bengals got to find a way to run the ball. That might help, but at the very least, I do think they'll be able to get the passing game going. And also the Bengals have won their last 2 games in Tennessee, so those 2 games happened last year. So I think that's familiarity, and so I'm going to ride that. And then finally, I know we talked about this game a little bit yesterday. I don't know about the spread yet, but I'm going to take the under on Dolphins and the Bills because it's a divisional game. It opened at 49.5, and it's moved up to 54.5. And the last few games that these two teams have played, they've gone both teams have gotten to the 30s or the late 20s, and so the overs for those have hit. But how many times have we seen? I got pulled into the trap last week. I hammered the over on Falcons and Lions because the Lions put up a ton of points and the Falcons played pretty good their first 2 games, putting up decent amount of points. And what happened? The Lions won 13-3 or whatever the score was. It was disgusting. It was a disgusting game. So I just don't. Obviously, the Dolphins just put up 70, but I think there's going to be some sort of a letdown there in terms of how many points they put up because the Bills' defense is better than the Broncos. The Bills' defense is they're ranked number 2 in yards allowed, number 3 in passing yards allowed, number 1 in opposing teams' QB rating. They get after the quarterback. I think it's going to be a more defensive-minded game than people are thinking, and people who are betting the over right now and pushing that line up, Maybe it keeps going, but usually most of these NFL totals, the highest I've ever seen them usually get around this area, 54.5, 55. I think I've seen like a 56 for a 57 before, but like this is a lot of points for an NFL game for how teams like to chew clock and run the ball and stuff like that. So I like the under 54.5.
Yeah, and I mean these are by DVOA the two best teams in football. So I mean when you combine their offensive output and their defensive output so far, and you league adjust it, they've kicked ass. So I mean this should be a fun game. And usually these division games play a little tighter. Let's go to my college football leans. I gave out a little bit of this, but now this number's moving towards Duke. Was Duke 5.5? Now it's Duke +6. And Notre Dame not only had 10 out there against Ohio State for the final play, but also, I'm not taking a shot at you. Relax. He gives me a look because I mentioned something bad about Notre Dame.
But you're a Notre Dame guy.
Right. So Braggs is just salty.
I'm having a rough week.
Okay. Well, not everyone's attacking you. Take a deep breath, buddy.
I, too, am having a rough week.
We are all, if you live in the greater Chicago area, you are having a rough week.
There's a play from the Tennessee State game. We're going all the way back. Sicko mode. And from Tyler Horka, where he says Tennessee State nearly scored a touchdown basically because ND had 10 players on the field. So this is something that's been consistent. I'm not really sold on the Marcus Freeman era just yet because it does seem like he is still kind of learning on the job. The Brian Kelly thing was sprung on him, and I think he's still trying to find his footing. I don't know if this is a hopeless regime, but I do think that Mike Elko's got his shit figured out. Riley Leonard's got his shit figured out. This is a real team in Duke. I like them +6 with this number creeping up. If you see a +6, take it because it might be at 5.5. Come Saturday. I like UConn +6 at taking on Utah State. Utah State stinks. Why? I mean, UConn plays pretty good defense. I'll go with UConn +6.
Jim Mora. I love Jim Mora.
Right. Been a couple difficult weeks for UConn, but they played some tough teams, like Duke. Arizona State +12.5. They just had a really good outing against USC. I believe they're getting healthier as well. I think they had a quarterback back. It's not Rashada, but one of the other ones got back. And they're playing Cal, who's bad. I mean, Cal nearly beat Auburn, but Auburn sucks. They got smoked by Washington. I'll take nearly 12.5 points for the Sun Devils. I don't understand that at all. Cal is not that good. If you're not a top team in the Pac-12, you suck at football. So this is a team that does not deserve to be double-digit favorites against anybody, let alone a team in their own bad division. So I'll take Arizona State +12.5. Indiana +14 against Maryland, right?
Believe so.
Yeah, Maryland's not that good. Indiana plays good defense.
They did blow out the Spartans.
Michigan State is much worse, and I mean, poor Noah Kim. I mean, that kid did everything he tried to.
The under was never a doubt last week.
Absolutely, I think the under is a good play in this game too. But I don't like Maryland. I'll fade them, and I'll take Indiana +14, and then finally, Ole Miss is a underdog at home. I know Jackson Dart looked absolutely horrendous, but Brian Kelly is not Nick Saban. And DraftKings and Sportsbook is giving you a 50% boost on that Ole Miss-Louisiana State game. 50% boost probably takes Ole Miss to like +175? I think it's worth the sprinkle. Ole Miss isn't as bad as they looked against Alabama. I don't think LSU is as talented and as put together as a Nick Saban team. Look at what KJ Jefferson just did to LSU.
So yeah, they didn't play a great game against Arkansas. They didn't play a great game against Florida State, and they were like preseason top 10 as well. Like, I love Jaden Daniels. He's a fun quarterback to watch for college football, but yeah, they've been very underwhelming. Like I expected more, but so I don't hate it. Maybe on the spread. What's the spread?
2.5.
Oh, okay. Yeah, never mind. Just take the money line.
Just take the money line. That's why. That was my thought. It was like I could take the points, but let's just sprinkle and boost the sprinkle. Anyways, you got any final thoughts? You got any final bets? You good? We got a show tomorrow.
Is it Big Ten After Dark?
Do we? Thought we did.
Tomorrow's Thursday, so
yeah, that was my thought. Honestly, it was kind of reflexive.
Yeah. Well, we did. If you missed yesterday's show, I had a lot more. I had my 3 early picks for college football slate, so go check that out. But I'll definitely have more tomorrow. and I'm ready to be hurt by these damn college students slinging the pigskin again.
Hey, I'm not going to be hurt because, again, we figured out betting, and we're the best bettors in the planet. So tell your friends, tell your families. There's a show tomorrow at 6 p.m., so join us for Big Ten
Hopefully you're
After
not
Dark.
ready to be hurt tonight again, Cody.
No, I can't.
Do you have a hit parlay? Or are you just
Oh, yeah,
skipping it?
I do. Also,
The Talkman thing yesterday, I feel so bad for you. That's such bullshit.
I was so pissed.
Because, I mean, honestly, you just could have taken fucking Master Bone to get, 4 hits?
Yeah.
Stupid.
I hate
Baseball.
I hate baseball and I hate life. Tonight's hit parlay is Miles Masterboni, Cody Bellinger, and because we are manifesting and also I love a good narrative, Seiya Suzuki.
Okay.
He's got to bounce back from that. He's going to give us a good game tonight because he's going to be motivated to bounce back in a big way.
I'm rooting for Seiya. I do hope that Seiya Suzuki bounce back.
Comes out to plus 210. You got there's a free no sweat MLB bet on the DraftKings Sportsbook today. So get it in. I know the game's about to start in 20 minutes.
Sign up with code CHGO. Thank you to Greg Braggs for producing the show. Thank you to Cody Delmendo. You can follow him at Cody_CHGO. Thank you to me, I guess, at Sean_W_Anderson. And thank you to everyone for hanging out with us in the chat. Whoever disliked this, I'm going to find you. And I'm going to hurt you. We're going to hurt you.
I'm going to come get you.
Badly.
Badly.
Bye.